On Tuesday, Combs, we spoke a little bit about the whole Monday night fiasco with Nathaniel Hatchett, and he has come out and says that he should have definitely gone for it the day after he took the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands and went for that 63-yard field goal with 50-plus seconds left on the clock, 4th and 5 with a timeout. Do you think he is just doing this to save face for his job, or is this an actual strength of him to admit that he is wrong?
So it's kind of like it's kind of a catch-22 here, right? Like I admire transparency within organizations. I admire when an organization or a GM comes out and says, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and then they go out and do it, right? Like there were parts of me that when the Bears drafted Mitchell Trubisky, even though I didn't like the pick because you left Deshaun Watson on the board, and we have plenty of massage therapists in Chicago, and you left with Deshaun Watson on the board, and you picked this guy up, I at least admired the fact that you had the conviction to go and get that guy, right? So I admire transparency. I admire somebody having the balls to say, hey, this is my guy, and I'm getting him no matter what. But in this situation, the transparency causes me to question you the next time that a tough decision needs to be made. It causes me to say, well, are you really sure about this? Like, is this really the decision you're going to make? Because you just told me you're not even sure if you made the right decision. You're questioning your own decision making the day after doing it. Oh, you're like, you know what? Yeah, everybody else was right. I was wrong. Okay, well, you know what? Then I don't want you making decisions for my damn football team anymore. Like, I'm happy. He was one of the guys that was up for the Bears gig. I'm glad they didn't hire this guy. This guy doesn't even know what he wants to do. I've been back and forth. Like, I don't know whether or not this was the right decision. I think that I would have made the same decision. I said that on Tuesday's show. I would have made the same decision. I'm pretty sure that's what I would have done. But I do know that no matter what decision I made, I would stand by it. I do know that whatever decision I made, I would tell you, you know what, look, this is the decision I made. You know, it reminds me a lot of Tony La Russa here in Chicago with the walking guys when they have a 1 and 2 count against them. You put up the 4 fingers for an intentional walk. Like, you know it's a stupid call. We know it's a stupid call. But at least Tony La Russa had the balls to go into the press conference and say, no, I don't even know why you're questioning that call. It's absolutely the right call, even when it's not. And that's what Nathaniel Hackett should have done. He should have went in there and said, look, this is absolutely the right call. I don't even know why you guys are questioning it. Like, you have to have conviction as a head coach. And when you don't have a conviction as a head coach, it questions your authority.
Right. It only does that. I mean, everything that you said, and then the players start second guessing you, right? Like, is this guy really the guy for the job? So what
you're a coach, like if you told one of your players, hey, after the game you sat down with them, it's like, I don't know, do you think that was the right call? You know what I mean? They're probably going to look at you a little bit sideways, and they're probably going to say, hey, Coach Buck, do you stutter when you think? Like, yes. That's the type of stuff that you're going to get. But that you can't do that. You can't set that precedent, because then once your players start questioning you, especially in the NFL, you're in trouble. So you lose that locker room quick.
So let me answer the question that you proposed there. So as a coach, I know my players well enough that I can talk to 1 or 2 players and say, hey, what do you think you would have done in this situation? I mean, like, I'm not in front of fans and parents and saying, hey, I made a mistake. We should have done this, and this, right? And no, like, I am behind closed doors asking players, just because, you know, when I feel when like players are a part of the decision making, then they are more invested into what we're doing, right? I mean, that's on a high school level, obviously not like a NFL level by any means. But why I think Nathaniel Hatchett came out and said this is because of everything what we said on Tuesday, Combs. We said Sean Payton's out there waiting to get hired. There are people out there waiting to get hired. Did you know that the fastest firing in NFL history was from the LA Chargers, and a guy got fired 2 preseason games in? Nathaniel Hatchett could have been the second fastest coach of being fired after one game of the NFL season if he wouldn't have come out and said this, because the writing was on the wall. He made a mistake. You can agree with it all you want, Combs, but you are paying Russell Wilson to cook $245 million over the next 5 years, and you can't get 5 yards. I mean, I get it, but what Nathaniel Hatchett should have said, he said, the result wasn't what we expected. I expected the kicker to make the field goal because he's been hitting 65, 66 yarders all week in practice. That is what he should have done. He should have said that he was wrong and gone for it or whatever, right? He should have said everything that you said. I stand behind what I did. My kicker was making these kicks all week in practice. I had faith in him, and he did it. He almost threw his kicker under the bus too by saying that he made a mistake. And kickers are head cases. Look at